The coffee cup slipped from her trembling hands and shattered on the floor, the sound sharp enough to cut through the gentle daytime hum of the cafe, and in that instant, every buried pain of Daniel Brooks's life rose up inside him as he stepped forward without thinking, driven by a heart that had already lost too much to stay silent again. If you believe kindness still matters in a world that often looks away, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Grandma's Book, because stories like this remind us that second chances are real when compassion leads the way. Daniel was a single father living each morning on borrowed hope. The sunlight streaming through the wide cafe windows caught the dust in the air, making everything look softer than his life truly was. His worn jacket carried the faint smell of detergent from last night's rushed wash, and his tired eyes reflected the weight of raising his 8-year-old daughter alone after losing his wife to illness 3 years earlier. That day, he had brought his daughter, Lily, with him, letting her sit by the window with her sketchbook while he waited for a call about a warehouse job that might finally pay the overdue rent. Every coin mattered, every hour counted, and every moment of peace felt fragile. The woman at the counter stood out in a quiet way, dressed simply in a light-colored coat, her hair neatly tied back, her face calm but weary. When the barista snapped at her for a small mistake in her order and another customer joined in with unnecessary cruelty, the atmosphere shifted. People looked away, pretending to check their phones or stir their drinks, the way they always did when discomfort asked too much of them. Daniel felt that familiar ache, the one that came from remembering how people had spoken to him after his wife's death, how pity had slowly turned into judgment. Before logic could stop him, he stepped in, his voice steady, his presence firm, placing himself between the woman and the harshness of the world. He did not know her name was Eleanor Whitmore. He did not know she controlled companies worth billions or that she rarely visited places like this without an assistant nearby. All he knew was that she was human, and she deserved dignity. The cafe quieted as the tension dissolved, and the woman met Daniel's eyes with surprise and something deeper, something that looked like gratitude mixed with curiosity. Daniel returned to his table without another thought, his heart pounding, unaware that one small act had already begun to unravel the tight knot of his future. The rest of the day unfolded slowly, sunlight climbing higher, shadows shifting across the cafe floor. Eleanor watched Daniel from a distance as he patiently helped Lily erase a drawing and start again, never raising his voice, never showing frustration. She noticed the way he counted coins before paying, the way his shoulders carried exhaustion without bitterness. It stirred something in her she had not felt in years, a reminder of a life before boardrooms and guarded trust, before wealth built walls instead of bridges. Later that afternoon, circumstances aligned quietly. Eleanor found a reason to sit near Daniel, observing the gentle rhythm of his life, the way hardship had not hardened him. Daniel, for his part, thought little of it, focused instead on the call that never came and the way Lily's laughter still managed to light his world. Yet fate had already decided this was not an ordinary day. Eleanor's challenges were different but just as heavy. Despite her wealth, she lived surrounded by suspicion, unsure whether kindness shown to her was genuine or calculated. She had learned to hide her identity in public, seeking moments of normalcy that money could not buy. Watching Daniel defend her without knowing who she was cracked something open in her guarded heart. For the first time in years, she wanted to be seen not as a name or a fortune, but as a woman worthy of respect. As the afternoon light softened, Eleanor found a way to speak with Daniel naturally, learning about Lily, about loss, about resilience built through sleepless nights and quiet tears. Daniel spoke honestly, not seeking sympathy, only sharing truth. In return, Eleanor offered warmth without revealing her status, choosing connection over confession. Something genuine grew between them, slow and careful, like trust relearning how to breathe. Before leaving, Eleanor made a choice that would change both their lives. She arranged an opportunity disguised as coincidence, a job interview that valued character as much as skill, and a path forward that did not feel like charity. Daniel walked out of the cafe believing he had simply been polite to a stranger. Eleanor walked out knowing she had found something far rarer than wealth. Days later, when the truth finally surfaced and Daniel learned who Eleanor truly was, shock gave way to understanding. She had not been looking for a hero in a dramatic sense. She had been looking for a man who stood up when it cost him nothing but courage. For Eleanor, that courage mattered more than any balance sheet. For Daniel, the opportunity she offered meant stability for Lily and a future no longer defined by fear.